Hey James, this is a great question and I'm glad you asked it. It highlights a couple of things that I think are really important. First of all, this idea of, hate the sin but not the sinner, or love the sinner, hate the sin, is complete theological bullshit. Jesus never told us that we had permission to hate anything. Jesus told us to love our neighbor as ourselves. Period. End of sentence. He told a group of people who wanted to stone a woman caught in adultery, let the one who is without sin cast the first stone. And lo and behold, they all left because they all knew they didn't meet that standard. It is not our job to hate somebody else's sin. I don't know about anybody else. I got enough to do dealing with my own sin before I go, hating somebody else's sin. And the real problem with love the sinner, hate the sin is exactly what you're getting at here, which is that hate the sin very quickly becomes hate the sinner, and that very quickly becomes burn the sinner at the stake. And it's always somebody who just happens to sin differently than we do. And that has been played out again and again and again and again in the 2,000-year history of the church. And that is why we need to stay away from this toxic hate the sin theology. Because all that is giving ourselves license to judge other people. Now, the second thing that I think is really important is something that you kind of got at in your follow-up to this comment, which is the idea that, sin is something that permanently taints the soul and, involves a stigma against the person, etc. And I think it's important that we pick that apart a little bit, okay? Because that's really not how Jesus talked about sin. He did say that anyone who commits sin is a slave to sin, but then he followed that up with, and if the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed. Jesus was more talking about the freedom that he offers, right? When Jesus interacted with people who the society around them declared to be sinners, he responded to them as beloved children of God, okay? You take, for instance, Zacchaeus. When Jesus invites himself to Zacchaeus' house for dinner, one, he does it before Zacchaeus apologizes, before Zacchaeus repents or anything else. And two, as the people around him are grumbling that he's going to go to the house of one who is a sinner, Zacchaeus comes down out of the tree, states that he's going to make restitution for any wrong that he may have done, and Jesus says, let there be rejoicing because this man is a child of Abraham too. In other words, yes, human beings sin, but that does not change the fundamental fact that we are beloved children of God, precious in the eyes of God. And I think our theology needs to do a better job of lifting that up. Thanks for your comment and question.